Okay, hi, welcome back. This is Mrs. Ray. As you all know, I am your grade 9 maths teacher. In our last lesson, we looked at addition, subtraction, and multiplication of decimals. Okay, in today's lesson, we are going to look at division of decimals. Division of decimals. Division of decimals is a little bit complicated. It's a little bit harder than multiplication of decimals. So as we go through the examples, we should be able to learn how to divide decimals. Now, the first example is 1.2 divided by 6. In this example, we are actually dividing a decimal by a whole number. 1.2 is the dividend and 6 is the divisor. We will use the long division symbol to divide 1.6 by 12. The divisor always stays outside and the dividend is always under the division symbol. Now, we have 1.2 divided by 6. We divide by the whole number 1 first, okay? 1 divided by 6, it cannot because 1 is less than 6. So, we put a 0 there and we put a decimal point and make this 12. Now, 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. We subtract and they cancel out. So, the answer for our division 1.2 divided by 6 is equal to 0.2. Okay. Let's go to the next example. Our next example is 2.61 divided by 3. Okay. Again, 3 is the divisor and 2.61 is the dividend. Now, the divisor always stays outside the division symbol and the dividend always under the division symbol. Now, again, we'll do the same thing that we have done in example 1. So, 2 divided by 3, it cannot, so we put down a 0 there and bring the decimal point here and make this 26. 26 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. Now, we subtract 24 from 26. We have 2 remaining. 2 divided by 3 cannot, so we bring down 1 to make it 21. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. When we subtract, they cancel out, so we have nothing more to divide. So the answer to our division 2.61 divided by 3 is equal to 0.87. That's the answer to our division. Okay, let's go to the next one. The example number 3. Okay, we have 6.78 divided by 1.2. Okay, in this example, we have a divisor which is a decimal number. What do we do when we are dividing decimal by a decimal? We first have to change the divisor to a whole number. But how do we change 1.2 to a whole number? As we have learned in our previous lesson, when you have one decimal place, we multiply by 10. So, I am going to express this as a fraction. 6.78 over 1.2 times 10 over 10. Why am I multiplying by 10? Because I want to change 1.2 to a whole number, which is a divisor. So, when I do that now, I have 67.8. When I move one decimal place to the right, 6.78 now becomes 67.8 over, when I move one place to the right, when I multiply by 10, 1.2 now becomes 12. Okay, now I have changed the divisor to a whole number. So, I'll use the long division method to divide 67.8 by 12. So, I have 12 outside the division symbol and I have 67.8 under the division symbol. Okay, now what I am going to do now, I am going to divide 67 by 12. Okay, 67 divided by 12 is 5. 5 times 12 is 60. I subtract, I have 7 remaining. 7 divided by 12, it cannot, so I bring the decimal point here and I bring down 8 to make it 78. Now, I have 78 divided by 12, which is 6. 6 times 12 is 72. I subtract and I am left with 6. Now, if you look at this, we do not have any digit after 8. So, I just add 0 here and I bring down 0 here to make it 60. So, now I have 60 divided by 12, which is 5. 5 times 12 is 60. When I subtract, I am left with nothing. Everything cancels out. So, the answer to my division of 6.78 divided by 1.2 is equal to 5.65. Okay, let's go to the last example. Our last example, which is example 4, I'll put it here, is 3.69 divided by 0.009. Now, if we look at this, I have a divisor which has 3 decimal places in which I am going to change to a whole number. How do I change it to a whole number? Okay, as we have learned earlier, since I have 3 decimal places, I am going to multiply both the dividend and the divisor by 1000. Okay, I'll express this as a fraction first. So I have 3.69 over 0.009 times 1000 over 1000. Okay, so if I move 3 places to the right, this now becomes 3,690 over, if I move 3 places to the right, this becomes 9. Now, I am going to use the long division method to divide 3,690 by 9. So, I have 9 outside, which is the divisor. and 3,690 under the division symbol. Okay. 36 divided by 9 is 4. 4 times 9 is 36. I subtract. This cancels out. So I bring down 9 here. 9 divided by 9 is 1. Now, 9 times 1 is 9. I subtract. It cancels out and I bring down the 0 here. 0 divided by 9 is 0. 0 times 9 is 0, so that cancels out. So, my answer to 3.69 divided by 0.009 is equal to 410. Okay, now that brings us to the end of our lesson, and our next segment will be on percentages. Thank you.